the building of the pyramids was the greatest achievement. Tombs that would protect the mummified remains of the pharaohs of Egypt for all eternity. Though they have been in existence for 4,000 years, the pyramids still have secrets, and without one man, they simply wouldn't have existed. In the remote Egyptian deserts, he overcame disaster to build the very first pyramids, and exploring them has revealed his genius. Though unknown today, he was the greatest of all the Egyptian pharaohs. He was Sneferu. Egyptologist Dr. Bob Brier has a long climb ahead of him. His quest to find out more about the man responsible for the building of something as fantastic, as breathtaking, and as large as the Great Pyramid at Giza.
Everybody's always amazed with the Great Pyramid. What impresses me most right now is the height. I'm about 40 stories up, and I still have a ways to go. Up until the time the Eiffel Tower was completed, it was the tallest building on Earth. What people don't realize is it's also a marvel of engineering precision. The base is 13 acres, but the sides are perfectly oriented on the 4 compass points. Before a building like this could be built, you had to solve immense engineering problems. The ancient Egyptian builders weren't perfect. There were failures, disasters, problems, and the man who solved the problems, the one who went beyond the disasters, was the pharaoh Sneferu. He's the one who showed Egypt how to build the pyramids.
In Egyptian history, the pharaoh Sneferu was a legend. His name would have been as famous as Napoleon or Alexander the Great is to us. But by a strange twist of fate, today he is almost unknown. The reason may lie with the fact that it is the pyramids built by his sons and grandsons at Giza that are visited in such droves by tourists. In fact, these pyramids are the final product of the Great Pyramid building age, the supreme effort of dedicated craftsmen who'd inherited their skills from the previous generation. The pyramids that Sneferu built stand unvisited and largely unknown. Almost as large as the famous Giza pyramids, these were actually early prototypes. This is where the art of pyramid building began. But the pyramids tell us nothing of Sneferu the man. To see what he looked like, Bob Brier has paid a visit to the crowded Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
This is my favorite place in the museum, and there's never anybody here. But it's a wonderful bit of history. This is the first cartouche in the world. The magical oval that encircles the pharaoh's name. That's Sneferu's name in there. He's the first pharaoh that we have personal anecdotes for. He was a man, and we know something about him as a person. He lived 2,000 years before Aristotle or Plato, but he's not just a myth. He's a human being. We even know something about the way he looked. This is Sneferu on his throne here, but it's not an idealized portrait. It's not a pharaoh staring off into eternity. This is what the guy really looked like. Look at his chin. It's a receding chin. He looks like a nerd. But he was a great man who did great things. He completed the greatest building project in the history of the world. Without Sneferu, we wouldn't have the pyramids. He was Pharaoh, but also a god on earth. And as a god, he needed a tomb that was the most magnificent creation the human mind could imagine. He needed a pyramid.
The 6 largest pyramids in Egypt were actually built in a period of less than 100 years. It was an amazing feat. In a primarily rural culture, using only copper tools, the Egyptians cut, transported, and placed in exact position more than 10 million blocks of limestone, weighing an average of 2 tons each, to build the pyramids at Meidum, Dashur, and Giza.